So we're going to take a look at the top 10 cards for Shadows of the Galaxy, the second set for Star Wars Unlimited. Now this one mostly focused on smuggling, bounty hunters, capturing, and there was one other trait. But anyways, these are the top 10 cards that I feel had a big effect on gameplay. So let's just get right to it. So one of the ones that I think that definitely comes in at number 10 would be this one, Triple Dark Raid. Triple Dark Raid would be my number 10 choice just because it has an effect in Shadows, but also it's going to have a huge effect on the new set Jump to Lightspeed. Now this one is a event card for 3 costs. It's called Triple Dark Raid. I already said it. Cunning Villainy. Search the top 7 cards of your deck for a vehicle and play it. It costs 5 less and enters play ready. Return it to its owner's hand at the end of the phase. So this card, you can bring out some pretty big ships pretty early. But then what's interesting is that, it comes in ready so you can attack that same phase. But it goes into your hand at the end. It doesn't go into the discard pile. So you could actually play it either next turn or whenever you have enough resources to play it. You can definitely play it again. So this is a very strong card, very strong event for 3 cost. So this is my number 10 pick for Shadows of the Galaxy. And on top of being a very powerful card, it has really nice artwork. So just looking at that, looks pretty cool, right? A bunch of ships that have been modified and put together from different eras. It just looks so cool. So that's my number 10 pick. So number 9 would be McClunky. I think McClunky is one of those cards still being used a lot in Underworld decks, because with this one card event you can return a friendly Underworld unit back to your hand, not to the discard pile, back to your hand. If you do, deal 3 damage to a unit. So dealing 3 damage to a unit can be very effective, very powerful, because 3 damage is a lot to deal to a unit. So doing this like every turn, just bringing it out, McClunky, if you have 3 of them in your deck, can definitely be annoying first, but also very beneficial, especially if you're playing an Underworld deck. Because, for example, if you're playing Cad Bane, with every Underworld card you play, you get to deal 1 damage to a unit. So just dealing damage back and forth with McClunky, Cad Bane, or any other decks that can help with the Underworld trait, it's definitely one of those cards that I think is a staple in Cunning. So yeah, this is my number 9. McClunky is one of those cards that can help you out, but also can be very annoying if you're getting McClunky all the time. And the name McClunky, right, kind of just sticks to your head. Number 8 would be the Dark Saber. The Dark Saber is an upgrade card in Command. The Dark Saber, I think it's a staple in obviously Mandalorian decks, but even if you use it as an upgrade in your Command decks, it's still pretty strong. The Dark Saber is used quite a bit in Sabine decks. If you're running a Mandalorian deck, any kind of Mandalorian, you can put it on no matter what color aspect it has. It ignores that. So if you're going to put it on red Mandalorian or yellow, it doesn't matter. You can just put this upgrade on it, and attached unit gains on attack, give an experience token to each other friendly Mandalorian unit. So on top of you getting a buff with your upgrade, you're going to give experience tokens to all Mandalorians. So this is a very key card for Mandalorian decks, and it's an important one, because I feel that if you're going to need upgrades, if you're going to be running upgrades, especially with Gar Saxon, who gives buffs to other Mandalorians who are upgraded, you need the Dark Saber. And also the stats are pretty strong. With an upgrade, with this upgrade, you get 4 attack plus 3 defense. Usually the other sabers are 3/3s and they cost 3, but with this one it's a 4/3. So what's nice about it is obviously not only you're giving an upgrade to one Mandalorian, you're going to give upgrades to other Mandalorians that you have. So even if they take out the Mandalorian with the Darksaber, at least you have other Mandalorians that are upgraded on the field. And that's the tricky part, right? Getting those Mandalorians on the field and keeping them there. But to me, this is the number 8 pick for this list of the top 10. So let's go on to the next one. Number 7, Tech. And we could appreciate that artwork right with Tech. Tech was a good character in Bad Batch. Very cool looking suit, right? Very unique. Tech is a 3-cost unit in heroism. It will attack for 2 and defend for 5. But what's nice about Tech, and it's become a staple in some pretty powerful decks, is the smuggle ability. So each friendly resource gains smuggle. The gain smuggle cost is the card's cost plus 2. So for example, if you're going to smuggle out I don't know, Battlefield Marine, for example, the regular cost is 3, but if it's in your resource pile, you know, where you're going to pay for cards, it's going to cost 5. You know, those things can come beneficial, especially if you have, for example, an echo-based defender that's a sentinel. That's going to cost you 5 as well. That can come in pretty nice if you need to defend your base, getting a sentinel out. So yeah, it's Tech is one of those cards that helps you, you know, in your resource pile. If you have cards that you resourced earlier that you want to use again, Tech can help you. And he has a 5 defense, so he could stay around for a little bit. You know, he's pretty buffy that way. So, and you could actually smuggle him out if you wanted to as well, because as you can see, if he's in your resource pile, you can bring him out for 4 instead of 3, which is not bad. It only costs 1 more to bring him out of your resource, and then now all your resources can be used with Tech. So yeah, this is my number 7 pick for Shadows of the Galaxy. Let's go to number 6. Fel the Dragon. It's a good command card, not command, vigilance card, because you defeat a non-leader unit with 5 or more power. Before, with Spark of Rebellion, we didn't get a low cost removal for big units. This one will get rid of capital ships, get rid of Poe if you need to, Wrecker, any kind of strong Jedi or Force unit. You can get them off with Fel the Dragon. The fact that it costs 4 can help a lot. You know, this is I think one of those important removals, especially for other command decks or vigilance decks that are running out there, because you know, those decks want to try to, you know, progress to something big eventually. Aggression decks don't really, I mean, they're going to have a lot of units out, and maybe a lot are not going to have 5 or more power on it. But what's cool about this card is that even if those small units have upgrades on them and they get to 5 or more power, you can get rid of them with Fel the Dragon. So this is, I think, one of those important cards that you need to have, especially if you're going to be running maybe something small, but you need to get something big out, you know. So maybe a sideboard option could be good, possibly. But yeah, Fel the Dragon is my number 6 pick. So let's go on to number 5. Lurking TIE Phantom, top 5. Lurking TIE Phantom became one of those cards, and it still is. With the new set coming out, Jump to Lightspeed, there's going to be some removal for Lurking TIE Phantom. But this card, it's especially good because card abilities can't affect it. So it says this unit can't be captured, damaged, or defeated by enemy card abilities. So if you have cards like Rival's Fall, Vanquish, Power of the Dark Side, all those cards cannot affect this card. Captured, damaged, or defeated. It doesn't say take control. like other cards say. But this one basically stays in space, and if it's going to stay in space attacking, it's going to attack for 4 because of that raid 2. So every turn plus 4, right? So 4 damage to their base, 4 damage to a space unit. So this became one of those important cards in Cunning Villainy. I think it still is too, but it's a good space unit to bring out 3 resources. And if you're going to play this with Tarkin, since it's an Imperial unit, you could just buff it, make it stronger. Card abilities can affect it, and the only way you can get rid of this right now is by attacking it directly with another ship, putting a Sentinel in front of it. So that's the only way. But yeah, anyways, this is number 5, top 5, TIE Lurking Phantom, and great artwork. Love the artwork on the Lurking TIE Phantom. I keep saying TIE Lurking Phantom. It's just one of those things that I can't get rid of. It's Lurking TIE Phantom. All right, number 4, the Crate Dragon. Crate Dragon is a legendary card that will cost you 9 resources, and it comes out for 10 power, 10 defense. It has Overwhelm if it attacks, so you can get rid of a unit and the rest goes to your base. But what's important about this card is the fact that when an opponent plays a card, any card, you may deal damage equal to that card's cost to their base or a ground unit they control. And that's pretty strong, because if you're playing this for 9, you're already in the late game. Most likely, the chances are that your opponent will be playing high cost units, but once they see the Crate Dragon, they're not going to want to play high cost units, because once they play that card, that card's cost, if it's 5, 6, or 7 or above, it's going to go to your base or a unit. So it's very one of those cards that you're like, man, what should I do? I see the Crate Dragon and it's like, yeah, it's over. There's nothing I can do now. It's one of those cards that if the person controlling the Crate Dragon, they can just take out the unit you play, right? Or they can just hit your base for 8, 9, whatever you're putting out, 3. So at this point of the game, it's like you want to put out low units to not give that much damage to yourself. But the crazy thing is that Crate Dragon is a 10-10. It's a strong unit to get rid of. You're gonna have to attack it quite a few times with different units, or if you're a blue player, Rivals Fall, Vanquish, or something to get rid of the Crate Dragon, because if you leave this on the field, it's game ending, definitely. So this is definitely a strong card with cool artwork. Seeing this episode in The Mandalorian was a cool episode. Watching this, what's it called? People from Fellow Dragon. I forgot their names. These guys defeating the Crate Dragon along with Mando. Why did I forget their names? Oh my god, it's a brain fart. It's what it is. Anyways, that's number 4. Top 3. And number 3 is Supreme Leader Snoke. It's a Vigilance Villainy unit. Snoke is a legendary card, and it's pretty strong because it's an 8-cost unit. It has 6 attack, 6 defense. But the key, or the biggest takeaway, or the biggest benefit of this card is each enemy non-leader unit gets -2, -2. So that can actually end a lot of your units that are out for your opponent. And sometimes they can't even put out units because they just die, or they just don't come out because they just go away. They can't come out. So this is one of those cards that is especially beneficial in those decks that use clone troopers or droid tokens, because you can't put them out. They just die immediately. And then just giving that takeaway from any other cards is pretty big, because now you're able probably to survive an attack from a unit just because it has -2, -2 on attack and defense, and then you could probably just get rid of them also. So Supreme Leader Snoke is an important card, a key card for Vigilance decks. I have 3 of these in my Krennic deck currently because it's one of those cards that make a difference in the game, and it's good control, definitely good control. So that's my number 3 card of this set. Number 2, we go to the top 2 here. Number 2 is Wrecker. Wrecker has become a staple in Sabine decks, aggressive decks like maybe Anakin as well. Now Wrecker is a 6 cost unit with 7 attack and 6 defense. Wrecker is strong because if you're going to ECL, if you're going to do an energy conversion lab with that base that you could ambush with any card that costs 6 or less, he comes in for 7, attacks something, just gets rid of it. I mean, 7 damage to something is pretty big. You get rid of Snoke, you get rid of Vader, you get rid of what's the other card? Of Luke, for example. You get rid of Luke. So Wrecker is big. Not only that, but if you're gonna get rid of something, you know, like a Snoke, for example, it's a 6 defense. That 1 extra goes into your player's base, right? You get that overwhelm. But the key point also here is the when played. If you're gonna ambush him out, or even when you just play him normally, you may defeat a friendly resource. If you do, deal 5 damage to a ground unit. So on top of you giving damage or defeating something, well, you could defeat something else if you want. Just get rid of a resource card and deal 5 damage to another ground unit. Yeah, Wrecker is I think still a staple in aggressive decks. He's very aggressive unit. He's a rare card, but definitely a strong unit, a clone unit for that matter. So yeah, the Wrecker is my number 2 choice for this set of Shadows. Before we go to our number 1, I would like to do some honorable mentions. This is a way to cheat the system, right, to get more cards into the list. But these are some cards that I think are also important cards in the game. For example, these 2, Zuckuss and Forlom. Well, we can count this as a kind of like a pair, right? Zuckuss and Forlom work together in those cunning villainy decks because, first of all, Zuckuss is a 6. It's a 5 cost 6/6, 6 attack, 6 defense saboteur, so you can go around sentinels or anyone that's shielded. And Forlom is a 4 cost 4 attack 4 defense. He has ambush. Obviously, getting out Forlom first is great. You know, you get the ambush. Now, the point here is when you have them both out, they give a buff to each other. Each friendly unit named Forlom on Zuckuss gets +1/+1 and gains Saboteur. And then each friendly unit named Zuckuss gets +1/+1 and gains Ambush. So they both get their keywords and they trade, right? So this combo is really nice to have, especially when they're out together. Having these 2 guys out just can be pretty rough, pretty devastating. So definitely an honorable mention for this set. Now let's go to the other one that I think is important, is DJ. DJ, even though it's not in my top 10, but DJ is a card that worked well with tech and other cards too, because it says here, when played using Smuggle, so if you're going to pay 7 for this, and you're going to need 2 yellow aspects of Cunning, take control of an enemy resource. When this unit leaves play, that resource's owner takes control of it. So yeah, if the DJ's around, you can just take control of a resource and be ahead. But what's cool about this is that if you have DJ in your resource pile and you have tech out, well, DJ just costs 5 at that moment, and he doesn't care about the extra aspect there, I think. But he will just cost 5 instead of 7, and then DJ will come out, 2 turns early, and you could do that when played ability. So having DJ and tech in the combo is and was or is one of those combos that works well together. And then the other one I have in cunning is Boba Fett's armor. Boba Fett's armor paired with Boba Fett from first set was very, very strong, because Boba Fett just came out and he had a buff already. And it says here, if attached unit is Boba Fett and damage would be dealt to him, prevent 2 of that damage. So on top of the buff, you get 2 less damage from your opponent. So Boba Fett's armor is a great upgrade if you're going to use them on Jango Fett, for example, or even maybe the new Bobas that are going to come out or that are in Jump to Lightspeed. You can't put him on Boba 1 anymore because he's suspended for now. But maybe later on in the future you'll be able to put him on Boba 1 again. But Boba Fett's armor was a good upgrade for that set. Now I have 2 more cards here. These 2 cards are in what's it called? A command, in the command aspect. First one is Salacious Crumb, another annoying little creature here. Kind of similar to McClunky, but Salacious Crumb just costs 1. It's a 1/3 creature, underworld. And he's underworld, so that's the key point right there, right? Because you can ping for damage with Cad Bane, for example. But when played, you heal 1 damage from your base. Now, you can leave him out, and right before he's about to die, you can do this action. You exhaust him, return this unit to his owner's hand, back to my hand, and deal 1 damage to a ground unit. So Salacious Crumb can be, you can bounce him back and forth, and just heal damage from your base and deal damage to a ground unit back and forth. So Salacious Crumb is can be annoying, and it makes sense on his title there. He's an obnoxious pet. So it's fitting for him. Now my last honorable mention here is the Phase 3 Dark Trooper. This is a Sentinel unit for villainy that kind of became like not a replacement, but maybe a replacement for your Stormtrooper. Because with this unit, it has Sentinel like the Stormtrooper. It costs 1 more, but I don't know, I think it costs 3 for the cell block card. I think it's the same cost. But this one, it says when combat damage is dealt to this unit, give an experience token to it. So whenever this thing gets any damage, it just gets stronger, and it just gets stronger. So most units can get rid of this, quickly. But if you're able to buff him up before he gets destroyed, for example with Tarkin, you already give him a 4/4, he could survive a round or 2. So the Phase 3 Dark Trooper, I think, is one of those cards that's great in command villainy. Unfortunate with this card is that you can only find it in the starter decks. So, or weekly play promos, you can get them there. But you could probably find them in the secondary market as well. So this is definitely one of those staples for command. So let's go on to our number one card in Shadows that I think has made a great impact in the game and also in a lot of decks is Poe. Poe Dameron is definitely a card that is used a lot in Sabine and aggressive decks because he's a 5-cost unit. You can use him with Energy Conversion Lab, and he's a 6/6, similar to the Wrecker defense, but he attacks for 1 less, but still 6 damage is a lot to get rid of something. But the key here is on attack, if you're going to ambush with ECL, on attack, discard up to 3 cards from your hand, right? 3 cards. For each card discarded this way, choose a different option. Deal 2 damage to a unit or base, defeat an upgrade, or an opponent discards a card from their hand. So if you want to do all 3, discard 3 cards from your hand, and then you can just do all those things if you wanted. Usually defeating an upgrade hurts, or dealing 2 damage to a unit. You ambush 1 unit and you get rid of another unit. You can do that with Poe. So Poe Dameron, I think, has been one of those cards that made a great impact in the game in Star Wars Unlimited. So I think with this legendary, we top it off. It'll be number 1 in Shadows of the Galaxy. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think, if that's reasonable to say that Poe Dameron is number one. I would like to know if there are other cards that I missed that maybe I overlooked, that maybe made a bigger impact in your gaming. Maybe I would like to know. But before we finish, let's do a little pack opening, and more appropriate, let's do some shadows. We have 3 Boba Fett's here. We're gonna open up 3 Boba Fett. So sorry, I've been sick. Let's see if we get anything cool in these packs. Shadows is one of those sets that I think definitely has been overlooked a little bit, because it has a lot of good cards, but not like the best. For example, the Mandalorians, I feel like could have been expanded a little bit more. We got a Rokai gunship. But you know, they try to fit Mandalorians in a lot of aspects, in the red, the green, the blues, yellows. Try to get a lot of Mandalorians in different places. Brutal Traditions, Chrysanthemum, Jetpack, and then we got a rare back there. What rare did we get? Imprisoned. So with this one, for example, you could put it on Snoke, and then his ability is gone. He can't give a -2/-2 to anybody. So that's a good one. And we have a Hyperfoil Reputable Hunter. I think that might be the second one I've opened here on doing a video. So let's see here if we get anything. A showcase on video would be cool, right? Village Protectors, our commons. Alright, Great Squadron A-Wing, another McClunky, and the Twin Pod Cloud Car. Then we have Toro Calican, our uncommons, Clan Saxon Gauntlet, and a Hyperspace Enticing Reward, which is nice. Oh, and Bounty. Bounty was the other one. And then we have here a rare, Cosca Reeves. Alright. I haven't used Cosca Reeves yet. But yeah, on Mandalorian, you know, Mandalorians can't care about upgrades. Gonna have a Valiant Assault Ship, our common. Alright, last pack. Let's see if we get anything cool. A legendary or a showcase. Let's try Rey. Rey's a good leader for drafting. Alright, Heroic Outland. We got a Hyperspace Resourceful Pursuers. Another Twin Pod. Then we have Forlom, one of our honorable mentions. Scanning Officer, and a Hyperspace Guild Target, and a rare, no legendaries, Wild Rancor. Alright, and a common Quavian Antagonizer foil. So nothing too spectacular in these packs, but next time we'll get something cool, right? So anyways, thanks for watching. This is the top 10 of Shadows of the Galaxy. If you agree or disagree with my picks, just let me know in the comments. I would love to see what other people think, and thanks for subscribing as well to the channel, and we'll bring more Star Wars Unlimited content.